Hey everybody, Tom Carnell here on Carnell Knowledge, a show I do now twice a week. I've changed the format a little bit. The 3-day-a-week thing was kind of taking up some writing time, and I need to feed that monster. So I'm going to do these shows now every Monday and Friday, but I am doing shorts every day, one movie, one record, and that way we should keep your to-do list fairly short. If you don't know who I am, I was a buyer for Tower Records, Record Factory and Warehouse for a couple of decades. I wrote and published Carpet Nocta magazine in the 90s, and then I wrote for Fangoria and Dread Central for about 15 years or so. Did a bunch of podcasts, that kind of a thing. Now I'm doing books. You can go over to my Amazon page and check that out. All right, enough of that. Let's get started on today's stuff. I got a lot of it, and it's all kind of all over the place. We're going to start with movies. I'm going to slide this over. My dog is coming in. Let's see. Our first movie is from 1996. It is called EBOLA LAI END DUK, aka Ebola Syndrome. I'm going to warn you now, this one's kind of rough. Directed by Herman Yao, it stars Anthony Chow Sang Wong, who was in Eternal Affairs, and he was also in Hard Boiled. Yung Ming Wan was in this. Xing Fu Yan, who's in The Killer and A Better Tomorrow, is in this. Sorry for that, Jocelyn. Anyway, it has to do with a Chinese restaurant worker wanted for murder in Hong Kong, who contracts Ebola while he is in South Africa, becomes somehow immune to it, and unknowingly, in some cases knowingly, spreads the virus there, and then goes back to Hong Kong and continues to infect people. This is a notorious Category 3 film. Tubi has an extremely cut version of this, so be on the lookout for that. Reportedly, it's a remake of a film called The Untold Story, which is also starring Anthony Wong, which is equally as rough. There are trigger warnings all over this thing. There's SA, there's animal torture, there's racism. Wong is a good and respected actor, and I'm not really sure why he would take this role. My dog's leaving. But I imagine it's because of the paycheck. But he probably plays in this, again, it's called Ebola Syndrome, so what can you expect? He probably plays the biggest a-hole in cinema in this. I mean, he's purposely infecting people with this heinous disease. At one point, he's spitting in people's faces and saying, Ebola for you, Ebola for you, Ebola for you. It's complete sleaze, so you're asking yourself, why am I recommending it? Well, it is an important film in the canon of Category 3 films coming out of Hong Kong. It purposely was pressing some buttons here, went out of its way to be, I can only assume, to be offensive. But is it an important film? Yes. I recommend it only if you know what you're getting into, and what you're getting into is a fairly rough ride. But if you're into exploitation, and specifically Hong Kong exploitation, then this is something that you need to see. Enough said. Up next, 2017, a film called Junkhead. It is directed by Takahide Hori. Has to do with, in the distant future, humanity has lost its ability to reproduce. An exhibition is sent to an underground city where artificial humanoids are fertile. It is a stop-motion film. It's a beautiful film. It's amazing that it was done. It took 7 years to complete. It was all done by this one guy. The stop-motion animation has over 140,000 shots in it. It's very reminiscent of Phil Tippett's Mad God, which was released in the last couple of years to Shudder. It's a surreal sci-fi about longevity versus fertility, humanity's future, exploration, and survival. The depth and complexity of the animation is pretty astounding. The narrative can, at times, be a little hard to follow, but you're so entranced by what's on the screen that you don't really notice. It's the first of a planned trilogy. I mean, this one took 7 years to make, so we'll see. It might be too weird for mainstream animated film fans' tastes, but yeah, stick with it. Stick with it. I have faith in you. The design was inspired by people like H.R. Giger, the brothers Quay, Jan Svankmajer, Terry Gilliam, and Edward Gorey. It was voted Best Animation Feature at the 2017 Fantasia Film Festival. It's intriguing. It's darkly comedic. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Is it safe for kids? I don't think so. I think it's a little dark for that, but it's well worth checking out for adults, especially if you're a fan of stop motion animation. Up next, 1975. I'm going to butcher this, so I apologize. Quaid Are Sir, aka Blood on the Stars. It's directed by Will Aaron, who did another film called From the Old Earth in 1981. Stars Gray Evans and Hewell Grinford. Follow me on this one. The synopsis is: Shadrach and the school choir apply murderous plans in order to prevent local celebrities from appearing at a village hall concert. It was made in Wales. It was one of the first Welsh horror films. It was commissioned by the Welsh Film Group to promote the dying Welsh language. The film played along with other genre films for young audiences, undoubtedly traumatizing them. I mean, it's about a killing people. So I'm not sure what the thoughts were there. A few years after it was released, it was still being played for children at school. So, I don't know. Okay. A bit dated, misogynistic, and full of racial stereotypes, ridiculously low budget, micro-budgeted, I would even say. The actors are, for the most part, amateurs and local, like, radio people, that kind of a thing. The film clocks in at just under an hour. It's available on Tubi, is where I saw it. More of a comedy than anything else, despite all the murder. it's kind of darkly funny. Deaths are intentionally humorous. I mean, a DJ dies as a result of being bitten by what is clearly a garden snake. I mean, they keep saying, "Oh, this venomous snake," but then when they show it, it's like a garter snake. I don't really get that, but it feels like people were drafted in off the street to play roles. Like, hey, you want to be in a movie? Overall, it's a silly little film, notable solely for its method of being made and as a footnote in British Welsh filmmaking. Again, it's available on Tubi for free. When I was at Crypticon this year, I ran into a guy that was running the Severn booth. As I recall, his name was Ethan. But we were talking about different films, and it was great to connect with someone who didn't get a blank look on their face when I started talking about film and about titles and stuff, because that happens a lot. And we were doing this and this kind of a thing. Anyway, he mentioned a film from 1968 called Una Gena in CASSAFORTE, aka A Hyena in the Safe. It's directed by Cesar Cagnari, who did the film The Gestapo's Last Orgy. It stars Dmitry Nabokov, Maria Luisa Geisberger, Ben Salvador, and Sandro Pizzichero, who was in the giallo So Sweet, So Dead. Has to do with four notorious bank robbers who did a job, separated, and now they're back together. All of them have one of the keys to a safe that all of the keys must be there in order to open. And inside is reportedly a large number of diamonds. It was pitched as a giallo. When we were talking about it, the word fumetti came up a lot. It's an unusual and psychedelic tinge Romerian film. That's my term, Romerian. George Romero talked about drama being, you get a group of people, you lock them into a room, and you just watch the characters sort of bounce off each other. And this is that in spades. Dmitry Nabokov is the son of the Lolita writer Vladimir Nabokov, which I found kind of fascinating. It's a pre-Argento giallo, so it doesn't lean like Argento happened. Bava happened, Argento happened, and then everyone just started aping them for years. And this was kind of before that, so or as that was happening, I should say. So they weren't relying too much on history. So imagine a post-heist modesty blaze or a copy type thriller that combines the comic book touches of a fumetti like Mario Bava's Danger Diabolic. There is a lot of similarities to another Bava film that was a version of a Agatha Christie film, and that is $5 for an August Moon is the movie, and then the book would be And Then There Were None. What makes it worth seeing is what's on the screen. There's outrageous fashions, outlandish hairstyles, and some of them are wild. Over-the-top makeup and a stunning villa replete with observatory, pool dome, and temple fountain. That, and everyone's good looking and everyone is dressed sort of kitschy. And yeah, there's a great film score by Gianpaolo Reverberi, who did Django, Prepare a Coffin. It's all very 60s. It's very groovy. Not much of a giallo though. People die, but there's no black glove killer, and there's overall though I enjoyed it very, very much. It was fun to watch, very sort of Austin Powers-y fashion sense and music amidst this rather intriguing murder mystery. I had to go to YouTube. Go in the description. I included a link that you can check it out. But yeah, Hyena in the Safe, well worth watching. I very much enjoyed it, and yeah, the clothes and the hair is very, very fun. Let's see, and finally, another thing I found on Tubi. Now 2024 documentary directed by John Spira. It is called The Life and Deaths of Christopher Lee. It follows a bunch of interviews and archival footage and various animation techniques like marionettes and that kind of a thing to recreate one of the world's leading actors on the screen. It's another film full of well-informed talking heads. Peter Serafinowicz, who was in The Tick, Guardians of the Galaxy, Shaun of the Dead, and he was the sommelier in John Wick 2, does an exceptional job. He imitates Christopher Lee's voice, and he nails it. I was surprised to hear that it wasn't Christopher Lee talking. So Dave McKean worked on this, and there's a whole section of animation there that you could totally tell that he was all over. But it's a career-spanning look at Lee's life and his filmography, and it's beautifully told. I very much enjoyed this. If you're a Christopher Lee fan, this is right in your wheelhouse, and you are really going to enjoy this. It's informative, it's engagingly told, warts and all about his life, well made and well researched, absolutely delightful, moving, respectful, recommended. I think it was a wonderful tribute to the man, and it even talks about him and his heavy metal albums, which is kind of fun. Okay, moving on to books. This one, I don't know. There are times when I go down rabbit holes and I really can't explain it myself. And this is one of them. Written by Christian Siefkes. The book is from 2026, and it's called, are you ready? Edible People, the Historical Consumption of Slaves and Foreigners and the Cannibalistic Trade in Human Flesh. It explores long-forgotten practices and ignored connections while making explicit the links between cannibalism, imperialistic influences, and the role capitalistic trading practices played in all of that. These are highly important for the history of the slave trade and understanding the colonialistic history of America and Africa, because it all came here as well. It's an in-depth book. It's a little redundant, but it looks at cannibalism around the world, and the simple fact of it is that people have been eating people for a long, long time. The text is dry. Some would find it difficult to get through. Again, it can be redundant. It's like this tribe took these people as slaves and then ate some of them. Feasts had a role in it, and celebrations. Some people stated in the book, preferring human flesh to that of pork or or cattle or whatever else. It's more of an academic text than a layman's read. It accepts a lot at face value and never questions the veracity of its sources, which I was reading in another source was saying like, maybe, kind of, sort of. It's a fascinating read though, and it should be taken with a grain of salt. There could have been more of a judicious editor. Like I say, it can be really redundant after you get through like a couple hundred pages and it's all variations on the same story. Yeah, you start thinking like, man, we could have trimmed a little of this stuff, but it's fun to read on a bus. You get left alone a lot. But yeah, fine enough. I picked it up on my Kindle and enjoyed it as much as you can enjoy a book on cannibalism. Moving on to records, I got some good ones for you. 2013, the artist is named Antoine Fafard. The album is called OCULTUS TRAMITIS. He's a Canadian bassist. He played for the band Spaced Out. This is progressive fusion. Terry Bozzio, drummers, Terry Bozzio, Simon Phillips, Dave Weckl, Chad Wackerman, they all play on this, and you can tell because the drumming is stellar. Features Jerry Goodman from the Mahavishnu Orchestra on it, on a couple songs. Scott Henderson from Tribal Tech plays on it, and it's a burner of a record. Very, very cool. Complex but wholly listenable. I very much enjoyed this, and again, go in the description of this video and you will find a link that'll take you to a YouTube playlist, and that'll tell you everything you need to know. You can listen to it at your own and decide for yourself. Up next, 2018, the band Go-Go Penguin, who I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to bury the lead. I'm a big fan of. This is a record called A Humdrum Star. They are a Manchester trio that blend jazz, classical, and electronic influences. Delightful. It can be very soft and introspective. Piano kind of dominates most of the music, but they can groove if they want to. Rock solid musicianship, rock solid writing. Very, very cool. They reminded me of things like the band Cigarettes After Sex, Mouse on the Keys, Mammal Hands, Tinsville Trio, and Tingram Hamison. Good stuff. This was really good. I like Go-Go Penguin, but A Humdrum Star was really great. Up next, 2001, the band is called The Lens. The album is called A Word in Your Eye. The band consists of Michael Holmes and Martin Orford. Martin Orford was in IQ, an early incarnation of the band IQ. This is neo-progressive rock. Intricate keyboards reminded me kind of old prog rock, but very much enjoyable. Instrumental for the most part. I like this record a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It went down easy. It didn't get in the way of itself, and it was fantastic. Reminded me of things like early Steve Hackett, Marillion, Steve Howe, Clepsydra, Drama era, yes, Pendragon, and believe it or not, the Buggles. I know, but yeah, The Lens. It was a great record. A Word in Your Eye, and you can either go down there and listen to it, or head over to Spotify and that kind of thing. You can find it there. Let's see. Up next, 1989. The band is called Kenso, Kenso. The record is called Sparta. It's going to be kind of hard because most of the writing on the cover is in Japanese or in Greek, so it's going to be a little hard to sparse out. Go to the link and you can go listen to it for yourself. They are a Japanese progressive rock fusion band, high energy, very technical, and often have a symphonic sound. Very inspired by the Canterbury scene in England of progressive rock. Melodic, progressive. If that doesn't stay still, it doesn't stay still for too long. It's always moving and going places. Reminded me of a host of things. Yes, Hatfield in the North. I always mess this up. I'm going to read a Gnidrolog. I know the band, I just can never say the name. They reminded me of National Health, Happy the Man, Space Circus, Horizons, the Italian band Artie Mysteri, Ars Nova, and Asturias. These guys are great. I don't even know what to say beyond that. They're very, very proggy, but there's enough fusion in there to not have it wander into, roll your eyes territory, which quite frankly, a lot of new prog does for me. I just go, oh, it sounds like Dream Theater or Marillion or whatever, or Tool is even worse, but there you go. Our last record from 1986, Canadian jazz band from Montreal called UZEB, UZEB. They teamed up with French violinist Didier Lockwood for an album called Absolutely Live. This is old school fusion, very cool, very high energy, blends intense electronic jazz with a kind of a rock energy, flavored with a lot of technical precision. This is a ripper. Everyone is just tearing up. And it's just great stuff. Good performances all the way around, good production, especially for a live record. I think a lot of live records can sound muddy, but this doesn't. It sounds very bright and like you're kind of in the room, and that's very cool. Reminded me of things like Alan Carrion, Tribal Tech, Jimmy Haslip, the bassist, Charisma, Jeff Berlin, Steve Smith, Jean-Luc Ponty, Bunny Burnell, Cab. If you know, I've talked about Cab on here before. Philip Catherine, and then the great Borelli Lagrien. Again, I like this a lot. I've always been a fan of Didier Lockwood. He's one of those people I found years ago when he was just a young whippersnapper. But I found his records in a cutout bin and took a chance on him. And boy, he's just a great player. Rivals people like Jean-Luc Ponty and Jerry Goodman easily. But it's good stuff. That's going to do it. I will be back in a few days with more. I've got a whole batch of stuff cooking over here. Please check out my shorts. They're 3 minutes, and they're not as in depth as some of the stuff on this long form show, but it's every day, and I'm trying to find films that are going to resonate with people that. Again, it's all the fall through the crack stuff. I'm trying to find and highlight things that people may have missed, either because there's so much out there or because, there's a lot of stuff out there in the world. So that's going to do it for me. Please remember to like and share and hit the bell and subscribe. I really need subscribers to get my numbers up so that I can get more of a reach. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. And I really, I'm sorry about the format change, but, something had to go. After I'm done here, I'm going to go and I'm going to post up my latest book, which should be out relatively soon, within the next week or so. I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I've been having a lot of trouble with the book printer. It's called Open Late, and it's a portmanteau book with a lot of short stories in it that are sort of worked within a framework. I'll talk more about it on a subsequent show. But anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.